Alright, A Delicate here from Task Videos. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on movie editing with text-based movie files. There are actually several emulators at this point that use text-based movie files, FCUX being the first one, and that would be the .fm2 files. There's also Desmum, if I'm pronouncing that right, with .dsm, that's text-based, as well as MC2, and that would be PCEgen, and what else? Yabos, the Saturn re-recording emulator, also is text-based. So there should be 4, if I recall. Anyway, a text-based movie file is means it's just text as opposed to binary format. Alright, so when you look at a movie file that's text-based, you should see something along the lines of this. Alright, you got header information here, all this mess, and then starting here, you've got input. Every frame of input here is just a line of text. Okay, let's look at some actual input. There we go. So here on this line here, we've got the start button. That's what T stands for. Okay, so let's look at where's something like this. Alright, so the nice thing about text-based files is it's very easy to modify. For instance, here I pressed up. Maybe I pressed up, let's say, 1 frame too early. Well, I can just replace that U with a dash, period, which means no input. There you go, and I save the file, and that'll remove that input. Okay, let's undo that. If I wanted to edit the header information, of course, I can just go up here and edit whatever I want. Alright, the most important thing about this, by the way, this is for Windows users. I don't know if anything I'm doing is useful on other operating systems. The first thing you want to do is do not use Notepad. Okay, Notepad absolutely sucks for this. Yeah, there's Notepad. Don't use this. Alright, if I try to open this file with Notepad, I get that garbage right there. Alright, it doesn't parse the line endings correctly, and you get a big mess. Alright, WordPad is better. Oh, that's Notepad. Oh, well, sorry, technical difficulties here. Let me show you WordPad. WordPad is much nicer. You get the every line of input, but the problem with that is there's no line numbers. Alright, so you don't know which frame is which. So in terms of finding where you want to copy and paste input or edit or delete, WordPad's not useful. So what you want is a code editor. I recommend, for this tutorial, I got Crimson Editor. It's free, open source. There's other ones that are just as good, such as Notepad++. You could use something like Visual Studio, anything with line numbers. So if I open Crimson Editor, this one actually has a couple advantages here. Number one is that you can have multiple files open at once. So in this demo, what I'm going to do is just do an easy copy-paste from one movie file to another. Okay, like simulating if I were to like copy-paste a level from another version of the movie. So I definitely want the line numbers. As you can see, now I know which frame to go to. I do need to account for the header, of course. Line 16 is frame 1, so I would just subtract 15 from the input. Okay. So that's the first mistake I see people making, is they try Notepad or even WordPad, and they don't think to use some kind of text editor that would have line numbers. Anything any code editor should have that feature. Alright, so let's do this. So for this demo, I'm going to open up FCEUX and open up a famous game here. You should know what this is. And what I'm going to do is copy paste level 1 from a movie. So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is actually get to that point that I want to copy paste. So let's say the moment that I press A to enter level 1. As you can see, I got input display on, but you can't see it. Hold on. Okay, so let's fix that. There you go. So the first time I press A, that's where I want to actually copy paste from. So let's find that frame. There we go, frame 362. Okay, just in case I forget, I'm going to type 362 here. Now in my, well, I guess I could, let's say I didn't already know on my movie I want to copy to. 1 second. By the way, you notice I'm doing drag and drop on this. FCUX, supports drag and drop. That makes it kind of convenient to do things like this. So here in my test movie that I want to copy that level into, I press the A button on 457. Conveniently enough, it's the last frame of input, so I shouldn't have any problems finding that one anyway. Alright, so now let's open up Crimson Editor. Notice it remembers the last files I had open. So in my new movie here, I want to go to, notice there's 12 header lines. I wanted to go to frame 362. Let's see, can you see that? No. Let's widen that up a little bit. That ought to be good. So I'm just going to use the Go To feature here, Control G. Most text editors, Control G is Go To. I don't want to go to frame 362, I want to go to frame 374. Right? And sure enough, there's my A button. So that's definitely the frame I want. Okay, so here what I want to do is copy from here to the end of the movie file, and that's actually pretty easy. Someone says Notepad is not as garbage as you make it seem to be. I didn't mean to imply Notepad sucks, but it just sucks for this. Don't use Notepad for this kind of movie editing. Alright, so the easiest way to copy paste from here to the end of the movie file is Shift End, and that'll highlight that entire line. And then here's the important one, Control Shift End. Control Shift End will copy from that line all the way to the end of the movie file. That's a very useful one, especially given this was about over 100,000 frames I just highlighted. I don't want to just sit there with the down button the whole time. So now that I've did that, Control Shift End, I just hit Control C, and now I've copied it, of course. Let's go to my test movie. This is short enough I can just scroll down. On the last one I actually did copy the A button frame, so I actually want to highlight that frame. Normally what I would do is highlight from here to the end of the movie, because I want to replace all the input, but it's only one frame anyway. And then I hit Control V, and there we go. I just pasted all the contents of that movie. For this demo, you may notice something weird here. The movie I copied from actually has 2-player input. That's actually the published warpless Super Mario Bros. 3. It shouldn't have, it doesn't need 2 controllers input, so that should have been cut out of there, but it wasn't. Oh well. And the movie I copied into only has 1 controller. That's actually not going to matter to FCUX. It's not going to care one way or the other. And in fact, if I start editing this movie file, it'll automatically fix it for me. So it doesn't matter. So there you go. I just copy pasted it. Let me save it. And then if I open up FCUX, open up my ROM and my new movie file. Push the wrong button. There we go. It should enter and play level 1. Let's see. There we go. Look at that. It even syncs. Alright, now in general, when you're copy pasting movies, that was beautiful right there. You're probably more likely than anything get right there, a desync. Copy pasting input has mixed results depending on the game. Chances are it won't work, but it's worth trying. So I guess that's pretty much my demo for text-based editing. The reason these are text-based is exactly for everything I just showed you. It should be easier and more intuitive for somebody who, I guess, isn't very technical oriented to try to use hex editing or something like that. So it allows the user to just make easy, quick changes or copy pastes on their own without needing anything special. Especially things like header information's easily editable. Input, deleting, adding frames, copy pasting, all of that should be pretty easy. And more importantly, tools that could do more advanced features already exist, because it's only text. You can use code editors and things, as opposed to our binary formats. We have the TAS movie editor program, but someone had to actually write the software for that and has to maintain it and add new movie file support. With text-based, we already have the tools to do most any advanced feature you need, and it wouldn't be hard to code software to do even more advanced things. Alright, so any questions? I got an audience here. Anybody confused on anything? I guess not. I guess before I go, I want to show some other movie formats that are text. VBGen uses text-based. That's because it uses the exact same movie file format as PCEGen, because that's just copy-pasted code. It's the same code, same movie file, everything. So that would be both are .mc2 format, and if I open that up, can you see it on there on the screen? Yeah, there you go. Text-based, same format. I guess I should point out this. See the 0 on the left there? And all these movie file formats, that's for special commands like reset and power on. In fact, if I change that to 2, that's a power cycle that would be executed on that particular frame. Which I can put that anywhere I want. Right? 1 is soft reset, I think, and then in FCUX, like 4 and 8 are special commands for the disk system, like disk eject and switch for the Famicom disk system. Famicom disk system. It's hard to say. Alright, so I guess that concludes this little quick tutorial. So, see you later.